Ricky, great show tonight. Obviously, all your lads won. Starting with the European title fight, Zanet's got a European title now, but what a knockout!
Great knockout. He's got a European title now, and he should be in line for the world title now. I mean, that gentleman Garifi beat Jamoy. Jamoy, in fact, as we speak, is in line for the world title. So he's probably proved that he's the best one out of the three. So he's fast approaching the world title now. It was great. He beat a really good kid today. He bullied him the first 2 rounds, but Garifi took it and started coming back with him. And even though we don't speak the language, he listened really well in the corner. I said, he's getting a little bit more confident now and a little bit more adventurous. I said, drop your punch volume down and just wait for him, because the more punches he throws, the more mistakes he's making. Just wait for that one chance and nail him. And he listened and he did it. And hell of a right hand. And I mean, Garifi was in a bad way for a bit, but thankfully he was all right and over the moon, to be honest. It was a real 50-50 that fight beforehand, so the win was sensational.
I mean, you mentioned he's bullied him early on, but Garifi did have a couple of rounds where at times he made Zanet miss and sort of showed his trickiness. Did you always have a plan for that?
Yeah, well, we knew that was going to be the case. I wanted Zanet to put a lot of pressure on him in the first 6 rounds. Their game plan was obviously to come on the last 6 rounds. They wanted to weather the storm and then come on straight. But I wanted him breathing heavy in the last in the last 6 rounds, to be honest with you. So Zanet was doing the right thing. He kept him on the back foot. He kept the pressure on. But he was a good kid. He was conserving his energy well and looked like the corner was turning. And was a little bit, there's a few round near the corner. Was a little bit worried. Oh, he's letting his shots go now. He's getting his shots off. But I know how hard Zanet hits, and I thought, the more shots he throws, the more gaps he's going to leave, and if Zanet can nail him, and that's exactly how the fight went.
On a personal note, how does it feel to have 2 European champions?
Delighted, 2 European champions. I mean, Sergey Rabchenko is the #1 contender at light middleweight. I think Zhakiyanov, after this performance, should also go to the #1 WBC contender. So not only are they 2 European champions, I've got 2 right there in line for world title fights. So, Hatton Promotions is bobbing along really, really nice. Not from a personal note of me just training. I mean, I promote the lads as well. We had Big Daddy Lucas Browne tonight in a sensational fight, drama all the way. It was dead comfortable. It reminded me back, turning the clock back of when I fought years ago, and everything's, going hunky-dory, as they say, and then the next minute, whack, big massive cut, and thankfully Lucas did what I managed to do in my career. He turned the fight round when he needed to, and he goes in the mix now with, he had a high world ranking beforehand. I think that will pop him up, the first Australian in 122 years to win the heavyweight title, so he'll go right with the world rankings, and he's in a very exciting bunch now, isn't he?
I mean, he's mentioned this evening, Lucas, before he went to hospital to get his eye sorted, he mentioned that next he wants Derek Chisora, then he wants Tyson Fury, then he wants Klitschko. Do you think that's realistic?
I think it is realistic. I think he was at 11 WBC beforehand. In winning that, he'll probably go near the top 5. And I think before you get a shot at the world title, I think that there's all them fighters, Chisora, Fury, are all in the same boat, aren't they? They're just, they're all pretty much level in world rankings. They're going to need a scout like that to give it that extra push to get that world title shot. So, if we can make them for Lucas, we'll make them. I mean, the big fella doesn't fear anyone, to be honest. Why would he when you can punch like that? I don't think he's the most gifted of heavyweights, Lucas, but when you've got power like that, he's got half a chance, the boy.
Now, also on the bill, you had another couple of kids of your own, Karim Murphy, because he lost, Kirill Relic, and obviously Adam Little, who's just boxed now. How do you assess their performances?
Great performance. I've only just been working recently with Kirill, to be honest with you, but he's a very, very talented. He takes his record, to 16 wins, I think 14 by knockout. Really great prospect. Little bit, he's a real casual guy, and sometimes he fights a little bit too casual for my liking. He got caught with a few little silly shots, early on, but no, he's a very talented guy. He's going to be a work in progress. It's funny that. He's got a good left hook to the body, exactly like Sergey Rabchenko. When my first fight with Rabchenko, he won with a left hook to the body, and I said, listen, you got to disguise this better. Go somewhere else first. Get the left hook to the body, and it's nice for me in such a short period of time when he listens and it comes off. So I was delighted.
And Adam?
Adam's doing okay, to be honest. Tonight I think it was a marked improvement in his performance. Kevin McCauley is very experienced, and Kev didn't know what to do with that jab at times. It really is a good jab, and I think he hurt Kevin a couple of times, which isn't easy to do. And obviously Adam's just coming off a career-threatening hand injury. So bearing that in mind, and he said that in the fight he had a few twinges and that, which the surgeon said he will get a few twinges here and there. He's had a plate put in his hand and it has to get a little bit battle hardened if you like. But he's improving all the time. The hand's getting better with every fight, and it's all about getting Adam's confidence in his hand. But let alone anything else. But no, absolutely delighted. And I also had a win tonight. Anthony Upton boxed in London. Right. Yeah, he won a 4-round points decision. So I've had 4 good wins tonight. I'm very proud of all the boys, and as a coach, when I see the stuff I'm working on in the gym come off, it's very, very pleasing for me as a coach. Yeah.
As a promoter, a couple of other kids as well. Scott Jenkins, Adam Etches, both got knockouts.
Yeah, Scott Jenkins and Adam Etches are at similar points in the career. Maybe Adam Etches just a little bit progress ahead of Scott. He's had a couple of belts around his waist. He's fighting different opposition, tough opposition. That Mexican kid was very, very tough today. And even though he's got the big bombs, Adam, he had to. You sometimes against them Mexicans, the ones that you normally knock out, in 2 or 3 rounds, they don't work against these guys. So he got a good few rounds under his belt, but another improving, exciting style, and Scott Jenkins likewise. I think in a few more fights we'll let them off the leash a little bit and give them a little bit more of a test. But they're having the right tests at the right time. They're looking great. They're really improving, and we'll keep them moving in that way.
Excellent. Well, well done for a fantastic show.
Thank you.
Cheers.